preview.
Call of Juarez: The Cartel isn't like previous games in the series, but that doesn't mean it's short on good ideas. As long as you play cooperatively with your online buddies, you'll appreciate what this modern first-person shooter tries to do. There's an interesting sense of cooperative competition that mirrors the story, and the basic shooting is fine, so there are times when the game comes together and gives you a glimpse of the greatness that might have been. But the Cartel ultimately never achieves that greatness. The problem isn't that the game represents a new direction. The problem is that it's glitchy and sloppy, always giving you the impression that it needed more time in development. Good ideas can only get a game so far, and these ones deserved a game with sturdier fundamentals than the Cartel can deliver. Interesting idea number 1, the story structure. You play as one of 3 agents from different government agencies thrown together to bring down a major illegal drug operation. The main plot is the same regardless of which of these characters you play.
Evans?
But each character has his or her own secret agenda, and so how you experience that story differs. You receive phone calls from contacts, for example, but your co-op buddy will only hear your side of the conversation. This is a cool device that ties in nicely with the story. These agents distrust each other more and more as the game progresses, and that distrust is enhanced by these one-sided dialogues. It's too bad the characters themselves are so unlikable. Everyone in this game is a sleazeball, and there's enough racial stereotyping to make almost anyone cringe. And those phone calls come at inopportune times that interfere with gameplay. You might get one in the middle of one of the Cartel's dumb, awkward fistfight portions, or during a high-speed car chase. You automatically answer the phone when it rings, and automatically put it down when you're done. A great idea, sure, but also buggy and poorly executed.
After all, that Vato did help you out.
I'll do what I can for him.
That's all I'm asking.
What can you do for me? Wait, what?
Give it.
And that's Call of Juarez: The Cartel through and through. Great ideas brought down by glitches and botched details. Take interesting idea number 2, character-specific collection missions. You can collect secret objects to earn experience and perform side objectives given to you by your contact. These are different for each character. You have to be careful though. If a companion catches you, you won't get credit for the task, and your partner will express his distrust. It's fun to sneak around behind your partner's backs, looking for hidden collectibles while trying to catch them in the act. Leveling up brings you closer to unlocking better weapons to take on missions, so there's a reward for doing these tasks beyond the fun of feeling like a dirty cop. But again, problems abound. Some of the side tasks are broken and can't be completed, such as one where you must rescue a prisoner. Other times, you might get button prompts to interact with an object you can't see because it's actually an item meant for a companion. Sloppy stuff like this is everywhere, and if you play on your own, the AI never collects anything, so this aspect of the game isn't nearly as interesting as when you play co-op. And that's the problem with interesting idea number 3, Adhoc Challenges. At different points when playing with friends, you receive opportunities to earn experience by, for example, getting a certain number of headshots or killing a certain number of gangsters with melee attacks. When one player accomplishes his goal, the challenges end and the other players fail. This adds a fun competitive twist to the cooperative shooting, but if you play on your own, you'd never even know the mechanic exists.
Damn it!
As for the rest of the game, it's semi-competent. The shooting is fine and some of the levels give you lots of room to flank and maneuver. The downtrodden streets of LA make for a gritty backdrop in some levels, while the Sequoia National Forest in another gives you some welcome freedom of movement. Some fun firefights crop up here and there, such as one in a Mexican ghost town. But design issues crop up even in the most fundamental places. Waypoints aren't done well much of the time. For example, one level in which you're supposed to tail someone in a car makes it unclear how to get to where you need to go, and so you fail the task over and over, driving into areas that cause the mission to immediately end until you stumble on the solution. Failure conditions as a rule are poorly communicated. Sometimes partners can revive you if you take too many bullets. Other times, you die and the mission ends. You might wander out of bounds by accident and end the mission, but there's no map telling you where those boundaries are. Then throw in a bunch of sound bugs, and on the PlayStation 3, annoying pauses and frame rate dips. The Cartel is not a looker, so it's surprising that the performance on the PS3 is so mediocre. Then there's the intrusive interface. A big eyesore prompt always appears to remind you how to reload all through the game. A big eyesore button prompt reminds you how to skip cutscenes. Big eyesore announcements related to side objectives pop up in the middle of the scene in mid-battle. At least they could have used a reasonably attractive font, but no, not even that. That sounds like a nitpick, but the Cartel is loaded with such flaws, and that's a shame because the core shooting is fun, and the challenges and secret objectives are great additions. Call of Juarez the Cartel could have been something special. That's even true of the online competitive play. There you are assigned a partner. You revive each other when you go down and get performance boosts as long as you remain near each other. So there's yet another fun idea that just doesn't come together right. With only 2 basic modes and a 12-player limit, online play feels mundane in spite of the partner mechanic. And in the end, that's how the entire game comes across. Call of Juarez the Cartel is entertaining and flawed. It does some really interesting things, but all of them have to be qualified in some way or another. Let's hope that these ideas are used in the future in a game that does them better justice.
Maybe it's not too late.
Any news? Fucking telemarketer.